Hello, Chris Harrison, Mindset Self-Care Focus Therapy. How you doing? And I'm back today doing a review with Brett, who's kindly agreed to jump on and tell his story about reached out to me for hypnotherapy and getting some help with things and his journey. And I hope you will find it as interesting as I certainly have working alongside him. How you doing, Brett? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Good. So you obviously went on my website, you looked on there, and then you messaged me. And what made you reach out to start with?
Big cry for help, really. There's quite a lot going on in here, and I was feeling completely burnt out because I was trying to ask for help off people, and it just wasn't there. It just made me a lot more angry, shall we say. And I realised that I was taking out on people when I shouldn't have been, and I realised that I needed help. That way, that's when I come across your website. Obviously I saw your stuff on Facebook as well, so it looked kind of interesting, and I realised that we'll see where we go from there, and then obviously I just ended up messaging you.
Lovely. So we had our consultation call.
Yeah.
Obviously I learned what you wanted help with and things like that, and answered any questions you had. See, you was feeling burnout and that, and so yeah, we booked you in. We got you in for your first session. How did you find your first session?
Really awakening than anything. I was a bit pre-anxious about it at first, but after the first session of dealing with grief for so many months and feeling burnt out, it's like something inside just lit up and just said, you don't need to feel like this. You can get rid of it. And with your techniques, the way you did it, really helped me bring me back to level.
And again, feel free on this to delve into as much detail or as little detail as you wish. This is your story, your journey. You was burnt out. You also was suffering with it with grief and the short time span in between loss of two close family members.
Yeah.
Do you want to expand on that? If you don't want to, we'll move on.
I lost my nan the 2nd of January this year, and it was on the day that my granddad got taken to hospital because he had a fall, and then no more than 3 hours later, my nan was found passed away. It didn't really sink in straight away because obviously I had something to concentrate on. That was my granddad. He's the only granddad I've ever had. And he was someone that was really an idol. It was a man I really idolised, to really impress and to be the man of of a legacy that he created. I wanted to be just like him. And then when he found out my nan had passed away, he just kind of it just changed him completely. It tore him completely in half. He was already suffering with other things which I don't really want to say, but he got progressively worse as time went on, and then on the 18th of May he passed away. So real new, but it was, you can't prepare for it when you've lost two people that close together. So, and it changed me for the worse, really for the worst.
So how was you handling, coping, or lack of handling, coping during that session, during that time period?
Well, I thought that maybe if I just concentrated on working, then it would distract me enough to do it. And yeah, it worked for a while. But then when I came home, I felt I had nothing to distract myself with. And then obviously the grief and emotions just came up, and I just got progressively worse because although people were saying things to me, I'll get better with time, and I'm just like, well, you don't know anything about grief. You don't know what about losses and all this and all that. And it literally got to a point where I wasn't that person that people knew what I was actually really like anymore. I wasn't that person that people recognised.
So after your first session, I think we did the majority of that on the second session with actually pinpointing things, because that's how I work. And after the first session, what was different? Did you feel different from before the first session to after the first session?
Yeah, but before the first session, obviously, I still had all that grief there. I struggled really hard to let go of something that I couldn't have anymore. And after the first session, you made me realise that I can't have them anymore. And you've got to let go of that grief in order to move forward. So after that, it was probably about 2 or 3 days after. Yeah, I still had a cry now and again after, like, but you kind of made me realise that, yeah, this ain't the way forward anymore. You've got to let go, because it's just going to keep tearing me up until I get worse and worse.
Yeah, and again, people see crying sometimes as a negative thing when it's not. It's a release of emotions. Doesn't matter if you're male, female, whatever. If you want to have a cry because of that emotion build-up, bloody have one. I was probably the world's worst for holding it back in my past. But so yeah, we did that. We looked at that, and obviously we came back next session and everything was good. Then you decided to drop a bit of a curveball on me, didn't you?
Yeah. I've always had, well, I wouldn't say I've always had it, but I did not really have a good flying experience one time. And it kind of developed into a phobia over time, thinking about going abroad on a plane and things like that. And I realised that I got a flying phobia. I didn't really have the confidence of just getting on and doing that because I wasn't in control. And on the second session, I said, no, sorry, it was the end of the first session, but I said, obviously I mentioned to you about the flying phobia, but then I said, yeah, well, I'm going away a week on Monday. And then it was like, yeah, okay. I just remember you saying, by the time I'm finished with you, you'll want to fly. So he was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So we did your phobia removal, and then you went on holiday, which was the Monday that the 1 in 15 million chance of air traffic control going on its arse happened. Yeah. And but luckily you made it to your destination.
Yeah.
And just tell people how you experienced a flight before and what the difference was between this flight.
So I was sitting in the airport. Flight was at 8 o'clock originally in the morning. So we got to the airport at 5:30, checked in, had some breakfast, started to have my first pint at 6:15 in the morning.
You're on your holidays, it's fine.
Smiling. And next thing you know, I got a notification on my phone that the plane had been delayed by 3.5 hours. So it was like, well, great. I'm ready to go. I've pumped myself up. I'm ready to get on the plane and go. And now I sit here stewing a bit more, which I don't like at all. And then as come midday, 4 hours after the original flight was supposed to take place, they got a reserve crew and we boarded the plane. And as we were getting ready to take off, which I did originally eat, I was sitting there in aisle 16 on the extra legroom seats. I was sat on my own, no one around me, and I was loving life. And I looked out the window and I was smiling. And as it started to take off, I was really happy. It was like nothing this day, nothing at all to worry about. So yeah, got to the destination, had a week there, and flew back no problem.
Wonderful, and I thought that will now continue because you've done it. And new routines and patterns will carry on. And next time when you go abroad or you fly or wherever, there's stuff to be afraid of.
Mm-hmm.
the chances of you getting to the other side and back safely are very high this day and age.
Yeah.
So we did the program. What did you think of the program over the 4 weeks that we were working together?
It really opened my eyes to the way things do. It made me realise you can move forward past burnout, past grief, past any worries that you've got. You can succeed if you put your mind to it. And I realised that there's nothing wrong or being embarrassed of being a man, of asking for help when you need it, regardless of how much it costs. Your mental health is more important than a few dollars in your bank. And yeah,
definitely. So, as we bring this to a close, is there anything else you'd like to add? Or?
I want to personally thank you for helping me, giving me the tools to get over everything that's been going through my mind for like over a year. I do feel completely different to the way I was. I feel a lot more happier, and it's making me appreciate life a lot more, knowing that, yeah, there is life to be lived, and I appreciate that. A lot of people around me have noticed the change in me, that I am a lot more happier, and I'm not snapping at every small little thing going. So yeah, I do believe that your program works. It has worked, and I want the evidence that it has worked for other people to say, yeah, I need help. Just send a message, have a talk, and it all become clear in the long run.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much. But at the end of the day, I may have given the tools to help you bridge that gap that you were struggling to find a way yourself. But you got off your arse and you made the changes in your life. You did the things, and you're going to carry on doing things. I know you've got some things in the plan, going forward.
Yeah.
Which, brilliant. And but you did it. You did it. You made the call to me. You booked in. You did it. And everything, all the results are down to you, not me.
You give me the tools, I appreciate. So, without you, I couldn't. So, thank you.
No worries. Thank you very much. Thank you for doing this. And I hope, like I said, people listen to this and it connects with them. So if you want to book in a free consultation with me, the information's been rolling down the bottom there. You can either phone me or jump on my website, mine's sft.com, and send me a message or an email. We'll do the consultation and we'll go from there. If you want to join the October intake on the program, get in now and we shall have a chat. So thank you again, Brett. Have a great evening. I'm Chris Harrison, Mindset Self-Care Focus Therapy. Thank you very much. Take care all. Bye-bye.